you and your partner were there for each other before the baby.
Mm.
Do fun things together, go on date nights. And yes, it's very daunting to leave your baby with your mom or your dad or your in-laws, but trust the process. They are very adaptable. We think babies are not, but they are. They don't have to be because they're our babies, but babies can be, adaptable. Leave them with your in-laws or your parents or whoever you trust, and make time for yourselves.
Yes.
If you don't make time for yourselves, you can be kind of out of touch, and that's not where you want to be.
Hello, Elisha.
Hi.
I have been waiting for you for such a long time. Oh, welcome back to the podcast. This is one of my most favorite guests. For those of you who don't know her, this is Elisha, Trevino's cousin. My cousin, but technically Trevino's cousin. We've known each other for over a decade and a half. We have gone through a lot together. We've gone through many different phases in our lives. We've been pregnant together.
Yeah.
And we've been through a lot, and she's one of my most favorite people. And I'm very excited that you're here. Thank you. I know that you are shy, but thank you. Thank you so much for making time in your very busy schedule for me.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you. And you look gorgeous, as
You too.
always. All right. So, like you said, I always start with the rose and thorn. So I'll do mine first to give you time to think. My rose and thorn for the week is that Talia turned 1 and your baby's first birthday is also coming up. So it's a bittersweet moment. It's exciting because they're entering a new phase in their lives, and as are we. But it's also sad because they're not that little baby anymore, and they're not your little baby anymore. They're just growing. So how do you feel about your baby turning 1 soon?
It's a very nostalgic feeling. I don't know whether to cry or whether to laugh, but I do understand that they have to grow up.
Yeah.
But watching today on Wednesday, it's very heartwarming, and I just couldn't take away from that moment that okay, she's getting older, but at the same time, when thinking of Mikhail turning 1, it's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want you to grow up.
It's like you want to think about it, but at the same time, you're trying not to acknowledge. Just like,
No.
okay, let's think about everything else that's happening.
Yeah. And 11 months already, it's a year since Tilia. It's crazy.
It is.
It went so
It
fast.
is.
But yeah.
It really went by fast. And I think for us also, like with us being far apart, it felt weird because we didn't see each other physically, even though we spoke a lot. So it felt like we saw each other when we were pregnant, like when we were first pregnant. I think it was Feb last year. And then we saw each other when our babies were here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we had a lot of time to spend as pregnant women together. But it's been a good journey so far. It's been a good journey.
It really has. It really has.
Your rose and thorn for the week?
My rose of the week is that I very fortunately got to spend Tilia's first birthday with her, because I really thought I was going to miss the very big milestones in her life. So I'm very blessed and appreciated the fact that you guys invited us.
And auntie and her cousin was here.
And the thorn of the week is that I know that I'm going back to the Netherlands very soon. So I'm going to miss all of our family and friends. And even though we come home very often, it's still hurtful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we miss you guys when you aren't here, and I cry. I don't know. Trevino, do you cry? Trevino cries. I cry. I miss you a lot also. I feel like I said, we've been through a lot. There's many times in life where you were very close and nearby, and you could just... And Elisha is the type of person who will drop everything to help someone. And there's been times in life where I'm just like, I wish I could pick up the phone and just speak to her. But I know, oh, wow. I know that you're going through your own things also. So it's hard. It is hard without you here. But I appreciate the fact that through technology that we can see each other quite frequently. And that I also appreciate the fact that you guys come down so often. And we will come soon to visit you guys. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Trevino, we're both looking at you, by the way. Okay. So like I said, we were both pregnant together. We were both first-time moms together. And our babies are also very close in age. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But one of the things that I was surprised with is the gender, because I never saw myself as a girl mom. When you look at Elisha and I I would say the person you would expect to be a girl mom is Elisha.
Yeah.
So I want to know, were you surprised when you found out that you were having a son? And talk about that whole gender situation and how you found out and the gender reveal, because you guys surprised everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. So
actually, every mother says that they kind of had a feeling. I had a feeling that it was a boy, but I never said it out aloud.
Yes.
And when my father-in-law told me that he thinks it's a boy, 100%, I didn't believe it. From the time I found out I was pregnant, so I was already 2 weeks pregnant when I found out, and my father-in-law told me it's a boy, and I was like, I have a feeling too, but I never said anything to anybody, not even to Michael.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, it's fine.
Get ready for an unforgettable week at Christian Family Church Johannesburg. Join us for an inspiring conference featuring dynamic speakers like John Bevere and our very own senior pastors, Apostle Theo and Dr. Bev Walmerans. From powerful messages to life-changing sessions, this is your chance to connect, grow, and be transformed. It's all happening from the 22nd to the 27th of September, so mark your calendars and invite your friends. Don't miss out on the experience of a lifetime. See you there.
The journey of the gender reveal, when we got to the scan, and I looked at Michael and I was like, I think I know what it is. It's okay. He was like, just wait and see. He was like, no. Let's just see.
Know,
I was like, I know. I had a feeling, and it's that spirit within you.
Yeah.
It's like that God's voice, like you can hear.
Yes.
And anyways, I knew it was a boy, and then the lady was like, yes, I see it. I see everything. It's right there, right in front of me. I was like, oh wow, okay. I was like, are you sure? Like, go back and check, just in case, because my younger sister, she showed boy for her 4D scan, and then
it was her finger, eh?
Yeah, I think it was her finger. And she turned out to actually be a girl.
A girl.
Yeah. So we didn't want any of that happening. Yeah. So we had a small gathering in the Netherlands at our house because a lot of our family wasn't around. So we basically dialed everybody in. And that's how we surprised everybody with the gender reveal. We kept everybody going for a while.
Yes.
But I think a lot of the family and friends thought it was going to be a girl.
Yeah.
Because of
you.
The type of person I am. I'm very girly.
Very girly.
Yeah, I love my jewelry and I know.
Bollywood movies and dancing.
Oh, yes. So I get that. But looking at my husband, Yeglan, it's very... Yeah, he's more of the boy type, obviously, because he's a guy. But still, you can see that even with both of us, we could be girl parents.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely.
But yeah, it's fine.
To give some context to what she was saying, so for the gender reveal, I think you guys had 3 games.
Yes.
And one was girl.
Yes.
And one was boy. So then everyone was like, what's going on? And then the third one was boy.
Yeah.
And like she was saying about her husband, Yeglan is very masculine. He's a very, he's a man's man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't picture him as a girl dad. But now, looking at him with his son, I'm like, one day he's going to have a little daughter and he's going to melt. And I love that for you guys, if you guys choose to have another child. I'm not saying you must have another child. So that was very special. Is there a reason that, I know why I decided not to do a gender reveal because I'm impatient. Is there a reason why you decided that you wanted to surprise people and not you be surprised, like how gender reveals usually go?
Yeah. So I knew because you were so far away and our families are so big, I said to Michael that we should... Sorry, my husband has 2 names.
Yes,
and
he's
I
not
call
2
him by
different
both.
men.
It's not 2 different men. So I said to him that it would be better if we knew first. And then the moment we got, like we knew, we said we'll have the gender reveal and surprise our family instead of telling, everyone. But our parents knew. And that was it.
Did you cry when you found out?
Yes, I did. I really melted because this is the first boy in my immediate family since my mom lost her son. So this was like a very huge moment for my parents and as well for me because he was born after me. So it was really, really nice to know that I was having a boy. Yeah.
And Elisha's mother is actually one of the people who correctly predicted both our babies' genders. And it's so funny because Trevino and Elisha grew up close in proximity and close in age. And now it's like round 2 of Trevino and Elisha with Mikhail and Talia.
Yeah.
And
Trevino is very mean to me. Just letting everybody know. And I was the older one.
Yeah, he used to bully her a lot.
Yes, he used to. Oh.
Uh, you and I talk almost every other day since, like I said, since we were both pregnant, and our due dates were also very close. So we know what the other person experienced in terms of gynae appointments, the different types of checks you go through when you're pregnant. Also, our C-section, we both spoke to each other a lot about how the process was, and now also with our baby's vaccines. So obviously growing up in South Africa, you know how everything works here. What are some of the major differences between that whole medical process of being pregnant, giving birth, and having baby go for vaccines here versus in the Netherlands?
Yeah, so in the Netherlands, when you fall pregnant, you don't usually go to a gynecologist immediately. You usually visit the midwife first, and then they will do the blood work, obviously, to check if you are really pregnant. And then you go through them, and all of your scans, majority of your scans goes through the midwife, unless you have a medical condition, like what I had. So prior to my pregnancy, I think you know this, I had a thyroid problem, as well as I was pre-diabetic. So after taking the medication and everything else, I managed to, we weren't planning, it just happened. So we fell pregnant, and then I went to the midwife and I followed the process. And then they said to me, unfortunately, you have to go to, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, you get to go to the hospital and the gynecologist will see through your pregnancy instead of the midwife. But I could have my annual or my monthly, scans. Yeah, it went very smoothly. They were very cooperative. They were very forthcoming with information. So that was really nice to know, because it was very strenuous for me not knowing. I was very nervous about that. I remember telling my family that I wanted to come back home, actually, to have my baby and not have him over there. But knowing what I've researched and what I've been through, I think we've made the right choice by having Mikhail in the Netherlands. So a lot of my scans also happened at the hospital, the major ones, and the fun ones I did at the midwives. So that was really nice. But the support from the hospital and from the midwives were really it was very nice to have. It wasn't overwhelming at all. They were very supportive. So coming up to leading my pregnancy, the scans were really cool. Going into the hospital part when I went into theater, because initially I wanted to have a natural birth. And unfortunately, Mikhail was
breech.
He was breech, yeah.
You experienced labor pains, right?
Yes, I had contractions the day before.
That's the word I was looking for. Wow.
Yeah, I had contractions the day before. So the Friday I was due to go into theater. The Thursday night I started to have contractions, but I wasn't as dilated as they thought I would be. So we just went straight into theater the following morning.
Sorry, before you continue, I cut you off.
No.
Do you want to talk a little bit about when you guys found out that baby was breech and what you guys had to do versus what you would have done here in South Africa? Like to turn baby around.
Yes.
Was it that was different, or was it... There was something I know that you said in South Africa they do it, but in the Netherlands they don't do it.
Yeah,
it was either that or the birth.
I think it was the birth.
The birth.
Yeah. So in South Africa, you have a choice where you can give birth naturally with the baby being breech. And I think in the Netherlands as well. But I didn't want to take a chance of, it's also a very difficult birth to go through.
Yes.
It's also very painful, apparently. But I was worried about the fact that his legs will come out first and then it would be his head. So I was very nervous about that. The option did come to me that majority of the women do get their babies turned, but it is a very painful process and they do have to hold from the outside of the tummy, the head and the bum.
Oh my word.
And then turn the baby around. So I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with it. And I tried to do my research about it.
Yes.
And I also found out from our family doctors and things like that. And no, I said, I'm not comfortable with it. I didn't feel good within my spirit.
Feel the peace,
I wasn't at peace with it. So we said no to that. And they were also still very supportive. They were like, that's fine. Then we'll do a cesarean. But they're not very for operations and cesareans. I think that the Northern Hemisphere is known for that.
Yes.
They were very good about it. So I was like, it's fine. I just don't want anybody to turn my baby.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you were saying the night before you started with contractions, and then you went to the hospital in the morning.
Yeah.
I remember video calling you.
Yeah. So I was already in the hospital in the morning. We left the house the night before because I just felt like I needed to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And my mother was like, you're not going to the toilet. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I don't know how my father and my mother they fit in the back of the car, but we managed to get to the hospital. And the doctor checked and everything. I wasn't as dilated. So as I said, we waited till the morning. And the lady that was supposed to go in before me was actually late. So I ended up being the first patient. Yeah.
Okay.
In theater. And everything was done by 9 o'clock. We were out. I went in at 7 and by 9 I was out. Yeah.
Wow. And how was your C-section experience? Oh, like when they told you to start walking and just that time in the hospital and the differences there.
So I already checked with you.
Yeah.
I think I worried you a lot because I was very nervous because I've never been for an operation before. So I didn't know what was going to happen. Same like you.
Yeah.
So I asked you and you already told me like, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's happening. So when I went and I came out of theater, I was in recovery. I had Mikhail on me already. And that was a very special moment. And I love the fact that they give you that moment because it's not just with the dads, it's with you as well. So I had about 5 doctors in the theater, and there was one that I feel, and I always say to Yeglan that he was God sent because he was so calm and he was so like, he was just we felt like we knew him for years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Very comfortable. And I didn't know he was actually going to be the one to seal me up.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So he was talking and he was guiding us through the process and like, it's okay. So this is what's going to happen. I had the same thing as you, the spinal blockage. So the moment it happened, honestly, I just felt like a prick and it was done.
Was it.
Yeah, everything was really like very chilled. The room was very calm. You could feel, I don't know how else to say it, you could feel the presence of God in there. Yeah, so it was very peaceful. And it happened and then I laid back. The doctor was still talking to us, running us through the process. I felt nothing. No tugging, no nothing. And then they did what they were doing and I could see a little from the light. I did look up. And in any case, it was chilled. And before I knew it, Mikhail was out and I was looking at him through a little screen, plastic screen. So that was really, special. And then, I went they took him away, they cleaned him up, they brought him back and they started to like record his weight and things like that. And that was very special. Michael carried him first. Yeah. So the moment they gave him to the nurse, Michael carried him.
Oh.
Yeah. It was really, really special. And into recovery, I felt nothing. I think obviously because I was still with a lot of meds and things like that. I felt absolutely nothing. But the amazing thing is when I got to the room, because the visiting hours was at 3 o'clock. So from about 9:30 to about 3 o'clock, it was just Michael and I.
That's special.
And it's very special. And I couldn't move or anything.
Yes.
And I know my father-in-law and my mother were really pacing because they wanted to get there as soon as possible. And I was like, tell them to come. Just tell the doctor, let them come. Because I wanted them to have their moments as well. But having that time for Mike and I, it taught Michael like a lot because he was the one doing everything.
For you and for baby.
For me and for baby. He changed his diapers. He changed him. He's wiped him down and everything. Because there was mom wasn't there. Granny wasn't there. Uncle Anna wasn't there. It was just us. He had to do everything. And by the time they came, everything was done.
Yeah.
I was the one thing I will say to new moms, I listened to the doctors. I didn't move rapidly.
Yes.
I didn't try to be like
super mom.
I did not get up very quickly. I just stayed where I was supposed to stay. And normally I'm not like that. Yeah. I always want to do more.
And be on the move.
And I wanted to help Michael, but I said to myself, if I do this now,
you're going to have a problem.
I'm going to have a problem later on.
Yeah.
So I just laid in the bed. And when the pain did start to come, like if I felt even just a little, I did ask for the pain medication. But the Netherlands is also not very big on just popping you with morphine. Yeah. So you have to be very strategic about it. And within the first couple hours, you have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting it.
The
second day, you're not getting it. I just listened very well to them. The next morning, the nurse came in to give me help me with the shower and to get me to walk. The only thing I can say was a bit painful for me, which was quick as well, was the catheter. That she pulled it out really quickly, but she told me just breathe in, and as I breathed in, she pulled it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
It's over now, but it's over.
And then eventually you feel nothing.
Yeah.
And then I got up And I walked, and she's like, I can help you. And I was like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm good. Don't worry about it. But if I need you, I will ask.
Yeah.
I got up and I walked myself, went to the toilet immediately, straight after the catheter. I don't know how that's possible. It was a little sore, but
Yeah.
it faded away.
Yeah.
And then I had a shower myself.
Wow.
I told her it's okay. I
Yeah.
can do it. But it's because I had that amount of rest the day
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, then it would
Yeah.
be a bit difficult. But what I will say is I started to hear like a siren when I walked out of the bathroom. I said to her, can you hear that? And she was
What?
like, what do you mean? I was like, I can hear a siren. I can hear something
Yeah.
like a ting.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's what happens when you're about to faint. Can you walk really fast to the bed?
What?
Yeah. So I walked really
I have
quickly.
goosebumps. What?
Yeah. I walked really quickly back to the bed
Yeah.
and I sat down. I could feel I was
Jeez,
about to go. Yeah. And then she warned me and then she helped me back to the bed and then I sat.
Did they give you food or meds?
They gave me a lot of the meds that I normally take.
Yeah.
And for the day, they also gave me vitamins and they gave me my food and I was fine. Yeah.
Jeez.
I was very happy with the way I healed as
Yeah.
well. And I didn't go back to the gynecologist to get checked.
Oh,
Because
you don't
usually-
get,
no.
we get a 6-week checkup.
Yeah, y'all do. I
Yeah.
didn't. I got a phone call.
Oh,
Yeah, they phoned me and they were like, how? But they asked all the questions
Yeah.
that you would ask face to face.
okay.
They asked how you feeling, how's it going, how's the wound,
Yeah.
and all of that. But also in between that 6 week and the first week I came home, I also had a nurse at home. So she came home and she would check on my wound and things like that, as
And
well
that's
as the midwife.
mandatory in Netherlands. Hey, it's not
Yes.
something that you can
Yeah,
opt
yeah.
out of. You have to.
No, you have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also a perk. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of people in the Netherlands or like overseas, especially if you're
An expat.
an expat.
Yeah.
Thank you. You don't have the family support.
Yes.
So I was very privileged to have majority
Yeah.
of my family in the Netherlands with
To
me
help,
to help
yes.
me. But people don't have that.
Yes.
So that's why I opted for 3 days of, seeing the
Yes.
nurse instead of 7. And she's not only there to take care of the mom or to help you with housework. No, she's actually there to also make sure that your baby is okay. And to teach you things that you may not know. Because there's
Yes.
certain things that Michael and I thought we knew
Yes.
and we actually didn't.
And also things have changed from when we were babies. So our parents also, there's things that are different now.
Yeah. Very different. And even something as giving a bath, I've given many babies a bath.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
I know how to do this.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
The one thing that surprised me was the way your baby's bed needed to be.
Yes.
So it was very specific. Do you want to share about
Yeah,
that?
no, I do. So they wanted one side to be higher than the other. They also wanted everything to be tucked in, and baby's sheet and blanket needed to be at a certain length away from his face and a certain length away from the end of the bed, if that makes sense. I think Selina can share maybe a picture that I sent to you
Yeah.
of how they told me to get the bed ready. I was very surprised by that. That's why I shared it with her.
And also, before you continue, can we all just say that prior to Elisha giving birth, that movie came out on Netflix, Mrs. Chatterjee. So everyone was like, okay, you know what? We can do this. If you haven't watched that movie, please go watch it. Then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. But the midwife had to come to your house before you
Yes.
gave birth also, eh?
Yes.
To double check everything.
So our bed had to be a certain height so that the nurse or the midwife could, if she needed to make our beds, then she won't strain her back. So we had to order like these 12 different legs for
Wow.
the bed, or we had to change the bed.
Wow.
I was like, Michael, just change
Yeah.
the bed. I can't deal with
Wow.
this. But anyways, there was a company that actually was very supportive, and they would send stuff home to make just your living a bit more accommodating after
Okay.
the birth. So they gave me like a bed raiser, it's a seat raiser, I think it's
Okay.
called, and I could lay down very nicely. So I didn't have to go all the way down, and even to get up, it was very simple for
Yeah.
me. They also gave the legs for the bed, as I said, but we never ended up using
Yeah.
it because the midwife never had to make the bed
Yeah.
because we had
People there.
people there, and also we had like a cleaner and things like that.
Yes.
So it was fine. For people that don't have all of that, it's very, very supportive. It's really nice to know that you have someone who's got your back, who's been through this before, not just themselves, but they've seen others through it. So they give you all of the advice that you could possibly need. And I was never shy to ask questions. I sat in the room with Mikhail, fed him. actually, she helped me a lot. She told me how I could feed him and how I could hold him in a certain way. Even though we went for all the classes,
Yes.
everything goes out the window.
Yes.
You don't know
Yeah.
everything. She helped with that. She also helped with teaching us how to bath baby, how to feed him, what we do like in the up and coming months. So she didn't just help with like that time only.
Yeah.
She also helped with there's certain ways in which you shouldn't hold a baby's leg, because we're so used to just picking their legs up like that and all the way up and wipe. No, she was like, watch for the spine, it's not really good. Maybe turn him to the side and things like that. So those gentle moments and how to treat the baby was really nice to know. You know, especially with knowing that Mikhail, because he was a breech baby, he had a slight hip dysplasia. So it was good to know that I wasn't like adding to that.
Yeah.
Well, thank God that he has nothing now.
Yeah.
But apparently it's very common, like I told you,
Yes.
with firstborns as well as breech babies.
Breech babies.
So he had to wear a brace for the first, I think after he was 4 months old. Yes. We found out when he was 4 months old, when they did the scan.
I have one hair here.
Oh, sorry. That was annoying you, isn't it?
I'm just like...
Yeah. So he was about 4 months old when they did the scan, and we found out that he had a slight hip dysplasia. So hip dysplasia means like there's a certain part of the bone on the hip that's not in the correct spot. With a bit of a brace, it eventually goes back into place. He wore it. I was very religious about it.
Yes.
He had to wear it. And then honestly, after he was 5-6 months, he was,
And now he's
there was
walking.
nothing.
Look at God.
Yeah, look at that.
And now
He
he's
walks,
walking.
yes.
Yeah.
You would never know that there was nothing wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't show, he used to kick his leg. There was
Yeah.
nothing. They said it for him though, by God's grace, it was very slight. Very, very slight. That's why he didn't have to use the brace for very long. But that's something that not every
Praise
country
God for that.
checks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was very surprising that they said, no, you have to come
Yeah.
and check it out.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
In a way, maybe you'll feel different about this, but in a way, I'm kind of happy that you guys experienced that away from everyone, because I feel like they would have just made it bigger than what it is. Because even when you told me, you said it's not that serious, it's fine, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we'll also pray, we'll
Yeah.
stand in agreement. And I feel like if you were here, people would have just made it bigger than what it is.
Yeah, I think families are also very concerned.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it can become a bit overwhelming. But what I can say is I have a very supportive
Yes.
in-laws, and I
Yeah.
have very supportive parents. So they were like, okay, do what needs to be done,
Yes.
and we'll check it afterwards. But if you don't do it now, and imagine if we didn't find out right now,
Yes.
Mikhail would have never had a problem.
Yeah.
In the upcoming years, he would have had mostly a problem when he's in his 20s. Well, that was what the doctor said to me. But I agree. It can be a little overwhelming when everybody's around.
Yeah.
But our family has been very supportive, as
That's
you
good.
know.
That's
Everyone was
good.
very chilled. I think also when you tell them what's going on
Yeah.
and they understand,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. So knowing what you know now about pregnancy, birth, and baby's first year, is there anything that you do differently if you decide to have another baby? Yeah, I know you said initially you wanted to come back to South Africa to have him. Is there anything now, looking back, that you change for the next time or keep?
Yeah. I wouldn't buy so much of stuff.
Elisha has a shopping problem,
I do.
everybody.
I really do. I also have a problem where if I see something on social media that works for somebody else, like, oh, okay, that's a good idea, I'll get it too.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up with so much of stuff that actually we didn't really use. So that is what I will do differently, because it's really funny, yes, but financially that is like, come on, what are you doing? Because I could have done other stuff with that. I made sure Mikhail used everything.
Even if it's
just
once,
to make
like,
me
you
feel
know what?
better.
I'm going to get one use out of this.
Yes, just to make me feel better. The other thing that I think I would do differently is I would want more. I know not everybody wants all of their family members around, but I would love to have more family members around. And I know that it was a little stressful, but it really helps a lot.
I really didn't expect you to say that.
Yeah. It did. I wished I had my sisters. I wish I had Michael's brother there.
Your dad, your
my
sisters,
dad, my sisters. I wish they were there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would, should I have a second baby? I don't know if it will be the same. So yes, I want everybody around, but now I don't know if I will, considering that my father-in-law is not around.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be as opening to everything because he made it very seamless for Michael and I. So I don't know if I would be as opening to having everybody. So yes, in a way, I want everybody, and no, in a way, I don't, because he's not there.
Yeah.
And I know that's very selfish to my
No,
parents, but my
it's
parents
not.
know they would be there.
Yeah.
But it's really like,
Yeah.
I wish, I don't know how to explain it. You know the
Yeah.
relationship, so
Yeah. I know.
What else? I think nothing. I wouldn't change anything else, because
Yeah.
I did want to come back to South Africa because
You knew how everything worked.
Yeah, it's also the unknown in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But honestly, no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. I would have another baby there.
Okay. What surprised you the most about motherhood or being a boy mom, other than the fact that you had a son? What surprised you the
The
most?
fact that I have to be so energetic. And there's a saying in the family that if the boy is very energetic, he's Trevino. Okay, because Trevino was very energetic as a boy, as a baby boy. So Mikhaili is very energetic. What surprised me is that I'm very calm with certain things, but when I see, and I know he's just 11 months, but when I see certain things that he does, like now he's going through a phase where he just wants to hit everybody, and we don't know if it's out of excitement or if it's out of, I want to hit you. And I'm like, no, nay, you're not doing that, you know? So I think what surprised me is that I'm just very stern.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd be very calm. Yeah. And very like, oh, it's okay. It's just a baby, you know, because being a teacher and everything.
Yes.
But I'm like, no. Especially because I'm a teacher, no.
But I think like I've seen you with other kids and you are softer with Mikhail, obviously, because he's your son. So don't be hard on yourself. It's not like I've seen you with other kids. I've seen you with other kids. And I think it's fine. I think you're a parent at the end of the day. And I know everyone's like, don't shout at him. He's a baby. But at some point, you're going to not shout at him and then he's going to do worse things. And you're going to be the one that has to deal with it, you and Mike. So don't be hard on yourself. I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
I don't know. Yeah.
So you guys have taken 2 long flights with Mikhail so far, hey?
Yes. Yeah. I did one in March with him, coming home. And I did one now.
Do you have any tips for parents with babies that are taking long flights?
Yeah. So,
or even short flights?
Yeah. If you are traveling with the baby and you are breastfeeding, the best thing to do is when the flight is taken off, breastfeed. I think majority of people know that, but feed them. And even if they're asleep, like just put something in their mouth that they can have a suckling sensation. Older people traveling, they hold one side of the ear and they keep the other side really close to them.
Okay.
If you're not feeding them. And the other tip is if it's bottle fed, then just give the bottle or a dummy. I know for a fact our babies don't like dummies, so it doesn't work. So that's what I do with him. I know some people or some doctors also say that you can give a little bit of medication just to keep them calm and just to open up their airways. But I'm not against giving medication. I try not to give Mikhail a lot of medication. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
I think that's the tips I can give you. As well as make sure you have a good seat. Yeah. So if you book in seats, you don't have to book an extra seat for your baby, but book a seat good enough that you and your husband are comfortable and the baby can.
Because you have to be comfortable.
Yeah, and you get all of these things online now where you can like pump up a seat. Yeah. It should be fine.
There is a scripture that I sent you when you first flew, and I was also meditating on that when here it is. It's 2 Thessalonians 3:16. It says, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you his peace at all times and in every situation. The Lord be with you all." And I think that's more for the parents.
Yeah.
Because obviously getting on a flight for the first time, you are anxious. You don't know, is the baby going to cry? Is the baby going to be fine? So I think also that scripture helped me too. And when we were coming back from Mauritius with Tilia, she was a little bit crabby. So at the end of the flight, I just said, like, sorry to the people behind us. And they were so kind. They're like, no, it's fine. She's just a baby. So I think also just be a little bit considerate of the people around you. Yes, it's a baby and babies are going to cry. That's what they do. But even if, like the lady that was sitting next to us, because on SAF Air, you can't sit on a window seat with a baby. You have to sit in the aisle seat. So I was sitting on the aisle with her. And the lady, and then she went to Trevino in the middle, but the lady sitting there, baby kept kicking her, but she was fine. I just said, I'm sorry. She's like, no, it's fine. Yeah. So, and also we packed toys. They pack
Yes.
toys and books and snacks.
Yes. Snacks, toys, books, especially toys that you can like, stick onto the seat in front of you that you
Yeah.
can spin
That's
or that they
smart.
can play with. I think that's
smart.
really, helpful.
I didn't think of that. That's smart.
Yeah. So I did all of that and that helped because you have to keep, especially when they're older, they want
Yes.
to be entertained a lot more.
Yes.
And I don't put Mikhail a lot of, like, he only watches Miss Rachel. He doesn't watch any of the Disney movies, even though we tried to get him to watch Jungle Book and stuff. But yeah, it's just Miss Rachel. But just a lot of those toys and things I think should be fine. Other than that, keep them entertained, feed them, talk to them, let them play in between you guys, and it should be fine.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for couples to remain close during the newborn phase?
Yes.
Tell us. We only started going on dates again now, like this month.
Yeah. I think don't forget that you and your partner were there for each other before the baby. Do fun things together, go on date nights. And yes, it's very daunting to leave your baby with your mom or your dad or your in-laws, but trust the process. They are very adaptable. We think babies are not, but they are. They don't have to be because they're our babies, but babies can be, adaptable. Leave them with your in-laws or your parents or whoever you trust and make time for yourselves.
Yes.
If you don't make time for yourselves, you can be kind of out of touch, and that's not where you want to be. I hope I'm saying this correctly. I don't mean go out all the time, but even at home, make a cup of coffee or a tea. Put on your favorite show, or that's what Michael and I do a lot. We may not be able to go out a lot often, but we've realized that we can take Mikhail with us. Or my sister-in-law, who's very loving and she's with us, she keeps Mikhail.
Shout out to Auntie Renee.
Yes. I think watch your favorite series. Just sit on the couch.
Yeah, and spend time
together. Talk
without
about your
the
day.
baby.
Without the baby.
Yeah.
And even if Mikhail is in the vicinity, like in the room, he's usually playing. And we are sitting and we're like, okay, Umbrella Academy is on. Like yesterday, he was sleeping on Michael. We started Umbrella Academy. It's those small moments that actually add up to a lot. So it's not like we're going on alone dates all the time. But it is also nice to do. Don't forget that your partner needs you as much as your baby needs you.
It's important, like you're saying, to find those small moments during the day just to spend time together.
Yes. Especially going back to work. It's a lot. So when we come back home, and even if you're in the shower or if I'm out and we're talking, we always check in with each other. How was your day? What really happened? Or did someone annoy you? How do you feel? That's really important as well. Because there can be times where, and it's not just about, I'm going to say this very openly, it's not just about sleeping with each other. You do need to still do that. It's very important to make sure that you make time for your partner. Because when you feel out of touch, then other things start to creep in from the world, and you don't want that.
And those questions seem so trivial when you think of it at face value, like how was your day? How are you feeling? What went on? But it starts conversations and you can find out exactly where your partner is, what's going on, and it keeps you close. It keeps you close. Like you said, it's not only about having sex. That is important in a marriage, obviously, but you also need to still connect with each other conversationally. And is there anything that you would say that that you specifically did for yourself to still stay, Elisha? I know becoming a mother is a very huge change. But is there anything that you did specifically to still make time for yourself?
Yes.
I remember the first time you washed your hair, like I washed and straightened my hair.
My hair, yes. Even though we had my mom, my father-in-law, and our grandmothers with us in the Netherlands, I also wanted to be a very hands-on mother. So I wanted to be there for Mikhail throughout. I did not want to miss a moment because everybody tells you the newborn phase goes so fast, and it really does.
It does.
And I didn't want to miss anything, and neither did Yeglan. So we were like, no, we have to be there. So something as simple as washing my hair, I was like, yes, it's for me. So my father-in-law or my mom would keep the baby, or Michael, and I would go and wash my hair, dry it and straight. I think I messaged you when I did, and I took a picture. I was like, look at me. And it's really funny. And you're like, oh, but you just washed your hair. No, but to me, it was like, I felt so much better. And going back to work was a decision I made right until the end. And I was like, work knew I was coming back. I wasn't sure. And I realized that I am a mother, but I also have a career. And my father-in-law actually was the one that said to me, babes, he calls us all affectionately babes, and he's like, you have a career, you worked really hard for it, so do what makes you feel happy. And I think going back to work would make you feel happy because you're still your own person. And you don't get a lot of in-laws that would say that to you these days.
Especially not fathers.
No.
Especially not fathers-in-law.
So yeah, he was very on point, and he was like, do it. Go back to work. And whatever you need, we're here. We're supportive. Don't worry about it. That, you'll be fine. And it's literally 3 days a week. So in the Netherlands, you get something called a Mama's Dag. And I decided to take 2 days instead of 1. And that's why I work a 3-day week.
And how long does that last for?
So it can last for the first 7 years of your child's life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But correction, for the first year, you get paid 75% for the day.
Okay.
Right, for the first year.
Okay.
Then after that, you only get paid 50% for the day.
If you take those 2 days off.
Yeah. So I had 1 day. Mama's Dag is just 1 day.
Okay.
I took 2 days because the other day I just took it as my off day, so I could spend more time with Mikhail. Yeah, it's a fly.
Damn fly.
So spending more time with him, that was very special. So after the first year, you only get paid 50%.
Okay.
And then I think it decreases as the years go on. But it really, really helps.
It's such a good thing. Like, I didn't even know. I actually never asked you why you're at home 2 days. I was just like, oh, okay, this is Lisha's home day. We can video call.
Yeah. And it's really nice because it works well with school.
Yeah.
And yes, they have to get someone to cover me, but I mean, it's very seamless, and it's very well
known.
They
seem very accommodating for families.
For families, first-time families, or just like, it's amazing. It's something that you don't get all around the world.
Yeah.
And the Netherlands is known for that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I feel like you are a good mix of traditional and modern. So are there any traditions or ideas that you and Mike want to keep or change with this new family of yours?
The one that we would like to keep is constantly coming home. Like,
Thank
even
you.
if it's
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's big occasions and things like that, like weddings and birthdays. Christmas, the one tradition we have with my in-laws is that Christmas is always at our home. And that's something Mike and I would like to continue. But I think because we've been home so many times this year, I think we're not going to do Christmas here. But we'll decide going forward. I think we would like to keep that Christmas being homebound.
Yes.
And this is still our home.
Definitely.
Irrespective of where we are in the world. The other thing we'd like to maybe keep is the fact that, birthdays are so special. So we always have a party. And that's something I would like to continue. And it doesn't have to be grand or big.
Yes.
But that's something I want to continue every year for Mikhail. And family vacations is very important. That's something I would keep doing with him, especially because I work a 3-day week. It's easy to just go away for the weekend and come back. So family vacations.
Elisha, I'm going to Spain this weekend. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, and are there any traditions that you'd like to change or new ones that you'd like to start?
You were talking to me about it, actually.
Yes, and please, let's make this happen.
I don't know. You need to tell me because I don't know. I haven't thought of it that deep. I think maybe I would like to be on, if it's within our time frames and things like that, especially with work. If Pillay and Mikhail could spend more time, but not in South Africa, but like overseas.
I would love that for them.
Yeah.
Pillay and Mikhail are they like we said, they're very close in age. They're also the next generation of the family, and they're just cute, even though they don't really know how to play together. When they are together in the playpen, it's very cute. Like last week or something, he was hugging her and she was feeding him biltong, and it was very sweet. So I'd love that for them. Like you and Trevino grew up in the same house, basically.
Very close,
And being on separate continents is hard, and I don't want them to not have a close relationship.
I don't want them to lose touch. So I would appreciate it that we make sure that we put in the efforts so that they can spend more time together.
Yes.
And I don't know tradition per se, but I would like them to just be together.
More
and
often,
I know it's difficult because we live far apart, but you never know.
You never know. You never know, Trevino. You never know. And then final piece of advice for any woman who want to move overseas and then fall pregnant, or who are overseas and are pregnant without family but in a new country. Is there any piece of advice that you have for them?
Yeah, I would say do your research. If you're planning to move and have a child there, find out about the medical system and how it works. And be a little bit more clued up before you get there. Because when you have these small surprises and being pregnant, it can become very overwhelming. So prep yourself in advance. And I would say, take it easy. It's not nice being without family, but at the same time, you give a lot of, independence to you and your husband. Like, you guys can do what you can. And the instinct just naturally kicks in. So you depend a lot more on each other as well, and your bond becomes a lot more stronger. So don't feel like, oh, it's sad that I don't have a lot of people, but whoever is there in the moment, you guys will make it work.
And I think also one thing that you said that I think would be important is to lean into the medical system.
Yes.
Because, like
Trust
you
the
said,
process.
the Netherlands has a lot of help
Yes.
for new moms.
Trust the process. And yes, they may not be everything that you would like or not like, but trust the process. I did not want to. I was very, very headstrong about, no, not doing that.
I can do this.
I can do it this way. This is how it's done. When I come to South Africa, this is what we're doing. So trust the process, and also like keep the faith, because you can make it work.
Yeah. I think we were designed to be families. So everyone, like when you are pregnant, everyone says it comes naturally. And you're like, what if it doesn't? But it does.
But it
really does. When that
really
baby
does.
is in your arms, it really does come naturally.
Everything kicks in. And taking care of other people's babies is not the same as taking care of your own.
Yes.
And you know them.
Yes.
Like the other day, Michael said he knew Mikhail wanted him to take the remote from his hand. You just know.
Yes.
So I think it comes naturally. Just trust the process. Don't be as headstrong. And I know it's easier said than done, but I also reached out to follow South Africans in the Netherlands. So if you are in a country and you know that there's a South African following group or something, like get in touch with other people and find out their experience and what they've been through. I had a very nice lady that I got into contact with, and she told me a lot of things that eased, what I was going through.
That's a very good tip.
Yeah.
That's good. Is there anything else you'd like to share in closing? Anything to say?
No. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
I was very nervous, but yes, you're right. This is very easy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.